Class is in session. Thank you guys again so much for joining us today. This is your host Luis, and Kyle and Elisha are here with me, and we're going to take a look at basically some gameplay, and we just want to show you guys what Bulma can do. You want to tell them exactly what we're doing, Kyle?
Yeah, so we are looking at Bulma versus Garlic. We're here showing off this Bulma list for a wonderful viewer of ours, Anthony Meloy. He requested it, so shout out to him. But yeah, so we're just kind of showing what Bulma can do against a more aggressive deck, and kind of how it likes to play and other things like that. So
yeah, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time just doing play-by-play commentary, because the issue with that is that sometimes we run out of time, and it's somebody else's turn at that point. We're going to talk more a little about our ratios, or why we did what, or what are we doing with the deck exactly. And I really want to talk about Makio Star here. A lot of people that are building this deck run a 4-2 split on Gasiu and Makio Star, because Makio Stars are rare, so it is a little bit harder to pull. But so people will just build a deck out of the box, and they'll just basically they'll play 4 Gasiu and 2 Makio Star, and that is a bit of a danger, because if you don't see Makio Star, you can't play this deck. It just doesn't work without it. So there could be a potential of putting both your Makio Star in your life, and you play up against Invoker and they never swing at your life, and then you never see Makio Star. And guys, I'm telling you this because it has happened to me, and I've only played Garlic Jr. in one tournament, and it happened to me out of our 3 games. That's what happened to me, and I couldn't really get the card out, and it really hurt me here. Makio Star is a great card. Without it, the deck just doesn't run.
Yeah. So Bulma is really looking to just control the game. I don't really play I play more of a mid-range strategy. So I like to hit the opponent with a lot of double strikes. I play blockers when I can. I play defense when I can. But in this variant of the deck, I'm really just looking to not necessarily control the opponent, but drag out the game long enough to where I can win the game with a big bomb or whatever. So
yeah, Bulma's fun because it allows you to play red cards with high energy and not have to worry so much about taking a huge hit to the life, which is a lot of fun. And now, the reason why Garlic is a lot of fun is because your hand size hardly ever deviates. I mean, you can play against hand control and still be okay. It really takes advantage of Servant skill. If I'm completely honest, this deck is never going to be, at least not as it is. We don't know if there's going to be any support in the future. I'm not 100% sure if this deck is ever going to be very competitive, but if you're not careful when you're playing against Garlic, it can do some nasty damage. One of my favorite things I think about Garlic, and you let me know what you think, Kyle or Elisha, but one of my favorite things is that you can awaken turn 3 as soon as you have a Unison on board, and it doesn't really hurt you. If your opponent just doesn't swing at you, you take those 2 life, and that's hand value, not really much of it doesn't really hurt you too much.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the detriments. This is actually this Vegeta that I just played right here. This is actually a 1-of in the deck. I love the original combo with it, and the original Bulma list. So I kept it, and it actually came in pretty clutch in this matchup. And here I am. I left 2 open going into Luis's turn just because I know what the deck does, and I want to actually do this right here and hit this Garlic Jr. right here with the denial, so he can't stick it, and he has to wait a whole nother turn to be able to do his whole Garlic nastiness. Which I think is, if you can hit that Garlic, then it's you're pretty much possibly in the driver's seat the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think what really helped Kyle out in this game is knowing the matchup really well. Not a lot of people are playing Garlic because they don't think that it's that great of a deck, but Kyle's played Garlic enough just because I have it. Now, I've looked at a couple different builds, Kyle, for Bulma, and I really don't see anybody playing this Piccolo. Why do you play the Piccolo?
I play the Piccolo. It's deflect, double strike, and barrier. And it cannot be blocked, so it's pretty much getting into damage where they pretty much have to combo out of it if they don't want to take the damage, and it is and if they want to negate it, it taxes them for negating, so you can take a life and then burn them for 1. If you want, if that becomes an issue. I've actually won a game like that. I was at 2 and he was at 1, and I swung and he negated, and I took a life and burned him.
Now, doesn't your opponent's life have to be like a minimum of 3, or it doesn't matter?
Nope, it doesn't matter. So it's a really good game it's a really good card for applying pressure, and it adds a marker to your unison. So Jiren occurs a lot of value throughout the game the more markers it occurs, and as well as in my other variant with the 4-drop Vegito unison, that occurs a lot more value the more markers it has on it anyways. So just with those 2 unisons and the Piccolo, I can pretty much control and apply pressure as much as I want to.
I have one more question on the Piccolo before we move on to something else.
Yep.
Now, the Piccolo, a lot of people are going to think, I guess for that specific scenario where your opponent has 1 life left and you got 3, then yeah, I'll burn the damage to do you 1 more damage.
Yeah.
My question is it worth it if you have the same amount of life as your opponent, just because it's kind of like just a 1-for-1? It's not like he's not giving them an advantage, it's not giving you an advantage. You're kind of just dealing the same amount of damage, and you actually have to take 1. Is it worth it at that point?
So depends on the scenario. If I have a lot of pressure on board, then I will take the life, just because I know that I can possibly get in for game, or if I have a high value of life and I need to awaken, or I need to go down to 2 if I have a secret rare in hand or anything like that, yes. Just because it's occurring me more value not to. Okay. And I get to deal them a damage, so it's not like they're not taking any damage for negate. So,
all right. So Sensu Pop has a discussion video on Garlic that he put out right a little bit before Garlic came out, and he said that the biggest reason why this deck is playable at all is because of the energy field negate. The energy field negate basically states that if you have 4 or more Demon Clan cards on board, you can negate the attack, and your opponent can only swing 1 more time. And what's even better is that you don't have to tap any energy in order to activate that card, which allows you to just tap out, and that just gives you just more options, more things that you can do with your energy, I think.
Yeah.
So I guess it's Yellow's version of Dormant Potential, but it's leader locked. That's the only problem, or deck locked.
But so I go ahead, I do my power play here. I'm really trying, I clear his board, I get rid of those Chi-Chis, and those are insane. That Dark Power Black, or that Mass Saiyan, is probably one of the best black cards to ever be printed. It's generically good. It should be in a sideboard no matter what you are. So
yeah, completely agree. Secret Identity, depending on the matchup, I typically run 3 in a deck because I play a lot of black. So I'll run 3 in the deck, but I recommend that doesn't matter who you are, you got to put at least 2 in your sideboard. It's such a great card. It's such a good card. I really honestly couldn't say too much more about it, but if you guys don't know what the skill does, basically you just overwhelm for free as long as you have 6 cards in the drop area. You play and you can get rid of cards on your opponent's side of the field, any number of them, as long as their energy in total costs 6. So you can get rid of like 6-drop Dark Broly, or you can get rid of a 6 1-drop Weenies or something like that.
Yep. And that Bulma that I just played, I run that at a 2-2 split with Raditz, just because it allows me to put blockers back onto the board that are in my hand that I can't quite get out. So
yeah, and y'all.
But
not 100% sure what's going on here. I must have activated my Kyo Star or something like that and look at the top 5 or something. I think in a little while we're going to have what we think might be a misplay. We're not 100% sure. We've had different conversations with different people, and they all say something different. But we're going to take a look at that once it comes up. We do want to talk about a little bit on Topo, for sure.
yeah.
We want to know down in the comments what you guys think about Topo. It was great in Surge format. It was eating lunch in Surge format. I mean, it was such a phenomenal card. It was really, really expensive when it came out. And now, I mean, you can go out to the Ultimate deck, buy 2 Ultimate decks, get 4 of them, 4 shiny of them. 4, what was it, foil?
Yeah, 4 foils.
And you can go to TCG Player and get them for like $1.50, $1.70. And I think, personally, it's a great card. I'm going to show you guys a Dark Broly build later on in the future, and I run 4 of them. I run 4 of them just because I don't like aggro. I don't like my opponent swinging. And if I can do some resources now, by all means, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, there's a pretty big debate now going on whether Topo or Violent Rays is better. Personally, I think in the current meta that we have at the moment, at the time of recording, is that Violent Rays is the better card, just because Dark Broly and Red Broly and things like that are running rampant throughout the meta, and they're keeping big beaters on board and swinging with them for a while. And so Violent Rays just kind of stops that. But I think that Topo is better in a more low to the ground format, just because it taxes your opponent from swinging with anything. So
right, and I mean Topo doesn't stop your opponent from attacking. Right, I mean if your opponent has a huge hand, late game they're gonna swing. They don't care. Yeah, you got a Topo on board. I'll swing again. I'll pitch 2 cards. Topo doesn't say end your turn, okay? While Violent Rays does. Like, if you were playing Dark Broly and you got all your big boy Brolys on board, if your opponent hits you with this Violent Rays, pitches a card, you're not swinging any more battle cards. You're just not. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't. There's no cost to pay in order to swing. But again, something like Topo, earlier in the game, I think Topo is better, personally. Your opponent isn't going to waste their time. They're just, you know what, let me just play a couple more things. I'll pass my turn. But late game, I don't know if Topo is as good as Violent Rays late game.
yeah, exactly. You know, it's it's just the meta's kind of changed at this point. So
and the price, also the price.
Oh, the price does help out with Topo. What I would say that makes Violent Rays very good in this meta is that it's uninteractable. Or Topo definitely has a lot of counters that people can side deck to prevent Topo from being at his full power, quote unquote.
Right, and there goes Kyle right now activating this as a Violent Rays, pitching a card. I can't swing anymore. Here was what I think personally might have been a misplay, but again, it's just a game and it happens. Kyle activated the counterplay earlier. What was it? The Yamcha?
Yeah, the Yamcha.
What's the name of it? And I countered it.
Yeah.
I hit it with this counter cooler. It basically allows me to negate his counter and then allow me to draw 1 card and 2 if I have 6 cards in rest mode. Now, because he's activated Yamcha, at least this is what I think, and you guys let us know down in the comments for sure. Because he's quote unquote activated Yamcha, even though it was negated, he shouldn't be allowed to activate Yamcha again. But because and Kyle, you can expand more on this. Kyle thinks, other people think it's just a conversation that we're having. We honestly have no clue if we're allowed to or not. He activated counterplay Yamcha a second time in the same turn because I had negated the first one. So should he be allowed to play it or not is kind of the question. Should he be allowed to activate 2? Technically, because the first one was quote unquote negated, I think is the question.
So that's the discussion we're having. So just kind of let us know what you guys think down in the comments, and we will take your guys' advice into consideration going forward. But so here, that Bulma super combo is just generating me value at this point, letting me play things, giving me more blockers, being allowed to play defense. And here we go. I stick the Yamcha counterplay right here. And getting rid of other cards.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a game, so we just went ahead and took it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a tournament or anything like that. We were just kind of playing around and wanted to see what Bulma can do. And Bulma, again, very viable, very good. Honestly, I don't know how it sticks against... I don't know how it would do against bigger decks like Dark Broly and stuff like that. Again, Dark Broly does have removal, but it doesn't have an insane amount of it. So if you're sticking 12 blockers on board, can their 30Ks get through all of them? I don't know.
Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. So, this is, I'm going into my kill turn here, and I know that. I've got Fu in hand. Fu wins games. You stick Fu. I'm double checking my drop here, just to make sure I don't screw up. And I realize I don't have 10, so I kind of telegraph to my opponent, but it really doesn't matter when you're playing against when someone drops Fu, whether you telegraph or not. Fu sticks. So
yeah, I think the only way to get around it is with blue counterplays.
Yep. Blue, Frost Deadly Poison, Cold
Yellow will
Bloodlust.
put it in rest mode, but you still can't activate anything. It still touches the board.
Yep.
Definitely shuts your opponent up for a turn.
Yeah.
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 If it said Dark Overrealm, it would have the ultimate tag on it, I think.
That's the problem, is that it doesn't need Dark Overwhelm because it ends games.
Yeah. It
So there's no
ends
more for it.
games. Yeah. It literally like you drop Fu, you're either winning that turn or you're winning the next turn.
Here's my issue with Fu. I think it's too high of a cost, especially
Not
with
in a
these
deck
new
like this.
1 or 3 or 4 cost secret rares that are coming out.
That's why you run Fu and you run Kai.
Do you think it's getting power crept?
I don't think it's getting power crept. I think that people still play it because it's still a good card. Because at least in the sideboard, because if games go long enough, then like if you play against Blue Baby or a control deck, then you side in Fu and there's your out, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think that's why Fu. And then Fu wins games. So
Yeah, I mean, duh. Yeah, it's just a good card.
But do you guys have any closing remarks?
No, man, that was a fun game. I felt, and I know Kyle didn't do it on purpose, but the whole game, it felt like he had an answer to everything that I had, which was really difficult. But it was definitely a fun game, and you guys take a look at the deck profile. We'll put it down in the comment, and you can we'll leave a link down so you guys click on it.
Sure, and if you guys want to see any gameplays, just like Anthony did, request in the comments what decks you want to see go against each other, and we'll try our best to make it happen.
Yep. So that's the end of the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, we're praying for you. Class is dismissed.